Galactic Art Council's most renowned critic, Maestro Vel'thara, had spoken with certainty. Humans cannot create art. Their primitive minds cannot grasp beauty. For 1,000 years, this crystalline being had set galactic art standards and had never been wrong. Until the exhibition from Terra arrived. 5 minutes after viewing the first piece, Maestro Vel'thara experienced a galactic first. Tears. And not just him. Every being in the hall wept from raw emotional power. Maestro Vel'thara was the undisputed authority on galactic art. His crystalline form could perceive beauty across 17 different spectrums, analyze emotional resonance through quantum harmonics, and evaluate artistic merit with mathematical precision. For a millennium, his critiques had shaped civilizations. When Vel'thara declared a work meaningful, entire cultures shifted their artistic focus. When he deemed something worthless, those art forms vanished from galactic consciousness. Humans, he had written in his definitive text on species creativity, lack the neural complexity for true artistic expression. Their work displays only crude technical skill without transcendent meaning. No one had ever questioned his judgment. When Terra requested space in the Galactic Art Festival, the committee reluctantly agreed. A cultural courtesy, Vel'thara had noted dismissively, we must be diplomatic with developing species. The human exhibition was small, 3 pieces in a modest corner of the vast hall. Most visitors walked past without stopping, confirming their expectations of primitive human attempts at art. Vel'thara approached with academic interest, planning to write a brief, polite review that would gently discourage further human participation. The first piece appeared simple, a canvas with paint applied in seemingly random brushstrokes. Vel'thara activated his analytical systems, prepared to catalog its obvious flaws. Instead, he froze completely. What Vel'thara saw transcended every framework he understood. The painting wasn't just pigment on canvas, it was pure emotion made visible. Layers of meaning revealed themselves, joy and sorrow intertwined, hope emerging from despair, the fundamental struggle of consciousness against entropy. His crystalline structure began to resonate with frequencies he'd never experienced. Ancient memories surfaced, the first time he'd seen starlight, the loss of his childhood companion, dreams he'd forgotten for centuries. For the first time in 1,000 years, Maestro Vel'thara felt small, not diminished, but awed by something greater than his understanding. Tears, liquid crystalline formations he thought his species had evolved beyond, began forming at his optical nodes. Other visitors noticed Vel'thara's stillness and approached to see what had captured the famous critic's attention. One by one, they experienced the same overwhelming rush. A Centaurian diplomat dropped to his knees, overcome by recognition of universal truths. A Vegan scholar's telepathic barriers crumbled, flooding nearby minds with raw wonder. An ancient AI observer's logic circuits overloaded from processing something beyond pure reason. The gallery filled with sounds never heard at an art exhibition. Gasps, sobs, and exclamations of awe in 47 different languages. Beings who had viewed art as intellectual exercise suddenly understood it as soul-deep experience. Hours later, as emergency services helped overwhelmed visitors, Vel'thara attempted to analyze what had happened. His instruments detected no special materials, no hidden technology, no exotic energy sources. The human artist, a quiet woman named Elena Martinez, had used only traditional pigments and canvas. Yet somehow, she had captured something that spoke directly to consciousness itself, bypassing species differences and cultural barriers. How? Vel'thara asked her, his voice structure still trembling from the experience. Elena smiled gently. I painted what it feels like to be alive. In that moment, Vel'thara understood his fundamental error. For a millennium, he had evaluated art through technical mastery, cultural significance, and aesthetic theory. He had forgotten art's true purpose, to make beings feel. Humans didn't create art despite their primitive nature. They created it because of their deep emotional connection to existence. Their brief lives, their vulnerability, their capacity for both joy and suffering gave them access to truths that immortal species had forgotten. Your species lives so briefly, Vel'thara observed. Perhaps that intensity shapes your expression. Maybe, Elena replied, or maybe we just remember that beauty matters. Vel'thara's review of the human exhibition became the most influential critique in galactic history. He didn't analyze technique or cultural context. Instead, he wrote simply, "Today, I learned that art is not about perfection. It is about truth. The humans have reminded us why beauty exists, to make us feel less alone in an infinite universe." The exhibition was extended indefinitely. Pilgrims traveled from across the galaxy to experience what became known as the Awakening, art that touched something beyond intellect. Elena's painting now hangs in the center of the Galactic Art Museum with a simple plaque, "When we stopped analyzing and started feeling." Maestro Vel'thara retired his role as critic to become a student again, learning from humans about the connection between mortality and meaning. The galaxy discovered that the universe's youngest species had something their ancient civilizations had lost: the ability to transform pain into beauty, and in doing so, remind everyone what it meant to be truly alive. Sometimes the most profound truths come from the most unexpected sources, and sometimes being wrong is the beginning of understanding.